Today we're in Michigan and heading out to the enchanting shores of Mackinac Island, a gem nestled in the heart of the Great Lakes. This island feels like a journey back in time where cars are outlawed, bicycles rule the roads, and the clop of horse hooves provides a unique soundtrack to the adventure. Mackinac Island is the perfect summer escape and a great day trip full of history, beautiful coastline, and of course fudge. Come with us as we show you how to plan an incredible day trip to Mackinac Island. We stayed in the town of St. Ignace the previous night and then got to the dock early to take the ferry over to the island. There are two ferry companies and we used Shepler's Ferry as it was the closest to our hotel. They also provide free day parking in the lot right next to the ferry, but it does cost if you want to park overnight.
We are going to Mackinac Island.
The ferries leave every 30 minutes during the summer and we chose to do one that had a Mighty Mac departure, which meant that it took us under the Mackinac Bridge. The Mackinac Bridge connects the upper and lower peninsulas of Michigan and it's around 5 miles long. Going to see the bridge only adds about 10 minutes onto the ferry ride, so it's well worth it, and I definitely recommend it if you're interested in bridges like I am. It's also narrated, so they tell you a lot more about the bridge as you're going around it, and you guys know me, I love photographing bridges, so this was a huge highlight for me. After going under the bridge, the ferry heads straight to Mackinac Island and only takes about 10 minutes to get there. As you arrive at the island, be sure to look out for views of the Grand Hotel off to the left.
This looks beautiful.
After docking, we were told about the ferry schedule on the way back and then led out to explore the island.
Made it to Mackinac Island. First thing we see, the horses. This is a wild spot. When was the last time you got off on an island and then there was just horses and carriages waiting for you there?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta watch where you step, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's a good amount of poop on the ground already.
We decided to walk around the downtown area first so that we could get our bearings and check it out a little bit before we started our adventures.
How much do you think a house on this island is? That one is 3.7 million. That one's 2 million.
Our first stop on the island was to head to Lucky Bean Coffee House, as my dad and I are always in search of the best cortado we can find.
You should be all about this, Pops. You love horses.
I love horses.
I'm never gonna get over the fact that I'm just sitting here and there's horse and carriages coming by. That's a fantastic coffee shop. Definitely go there if you're looking for a good cup of coffee. Now we're gonna go explore the island.
The three main ways to get around the island are a carriage tour, renting a bike, or walking. We decided to do a carriage tour first, and when we bought a ticket, we had about a 30-minute wait before we could get on the next carriage. We used that to explore the downtown area and to go into a few shops.
Old geezer, formerly a stud muffin. Were you ever one?
I was never a stud muffin. I've always been a geezer.
This is definitely a popular destination for shopping, and they have everything you can imagine from bookstores to clothing shops. Of course, they're also known for fudge shops, and some of them have been here for over 100 years. We visited many times for free samples while on the island, and we have a full fudge review at the end of this video.
The trash collector uses a horse-drawn carriage to get their trash. Waiting in line for our carriage tour, which is going to take us around this southern portion of the island.
Eventually, it was our time for the tour, and we got in line, met our horses, and then headed out.
Here we go.
Here we go.
If you're wondering what they do with all the poop on the streets, there's a poop cart right there.
Here's how the carriage tour is laid out. First, you make your way through the streets of Mackinac up to Surrey Hill Museum. Along the way, you'll see many different historic houses, museums, and even get to go by the Grand Hotel.
If you're wanting to play golf, those are the golf carts that you use to get to the back nine. Here's the gas station on the island. It's the horse watering trough right there. There's the street sweeper.
Eventually, you'll get dropped off at the Surrey Hills Museum, and you can spend as much time as you like here, and then you'll get on a different carriage to continue on the tour.
Hey, make your day Mackinac awesome.
That's right.
When we arrived at the museum, we were greeted by donuts.
All right, they say they sell over 1 billion donuts, and they were dipping these in front of us. They are warm still.
Warm.
Give it a try, Pops.
Very nice. Very nice. This really is very good. Not just saying it, it really is good.
All right, my turn. I got the maple. Melt in your mouth. Perfect frosting consistency. Right amount of maple. I'd pay $5 for that 150 donut.
Yeah, it's very good.
If you're interested in Mackinac's history with carriages and to see some old carriages yourself, then the Surrey Hills Museum is worth walking around in, and it's free. We paid for the carriage tour ticket that included Wings of Mackinac, which is the butterfly garden they have here, so we decided to check that out before heading out on our next part of the carriage tour.
No touching the butterflies.
I will not touch a butterfly unless it touches me.
Wings of Mackinac started in 1997 in Mackinac City, but then it moved over here in 2001.
Unbelievable. This is, I think, the best one I've ever made. This is incredible.
It is very cool how many there are.
The spot is definitely tiny, but it's the most active I've ever seen butterflies like this.
Look at Pops has got a friend. He landed right on his head. It must be because you're so sweet.
What else could it be? It's gotta be that.
The longer he sits here, the more butterflies land on him. Got one on each shoulder now. They don't even want to leave. He flapped and they don't even want to leave. I wasn't even planning on going in there, but it came with the tour ticket that I bought, and it was such a cool experience. Pops and butterflies landing on them. It would be amazing if you're traveling with kids too. Saying goodbye to our first stop, and we're getting on a different carriage to go to the next stop.
Whenever you're ready to leave, you'll get in line for the next part of the tour, which takes you to the interior portion of the island and goes to Arch Rock for a few minutes, and then it goes on to Fort Mackinac. This is again narrated, and we had great tour guides on both portions of our carriage ride. On this portion, you'll go past the Fort Mackinac Cemetery and past Skull Cave. You can't get off at either one of these, but you can walk back up and see them if you're interested.
Heading out to Arch Rock with 75 other people.
Arch Rock is probably the most popular photo spot in all of Mackinac Island. This natural limestone arch sits 145 feet above the water below.
There's the backside of Arch Rock. Can't really see anything, that's why. All the people are over here.
You'll definitely have to wait in line to get a photo, especially on the busy summer days, and we only had about 7 minutes to get our photos before we had to get back on the carriage. You can bike over here and take the stairs up, or you can hike up here from the city if you want to see it without the tour.
So if you take the carriage, you got about 7 minutes to take your pictures before you get back on, go on to the next spot. Worked out perfect for us, but I could see it being pretty crazy if it was the summertime trying to get through all those people.
From here, the horses took us to our last stop, which was Fort Mackinac.
Made it to the last stop on our carriage tour, Fort Mackinac. From here, you can wait for a carriage, but you can also just walk back to town, which is about 5 minutes. We got a cannon firing at 1 p.m.
Fort Mackinac's admission was also included in the ticket that we purchased for the carriage tour.
This is a big old property and it's very hilly, which is interesting. It's actually not the high point, but it's pretty high. You can get some good views.
Fort Mackinac has a storied history that dates back over 200 years. The fort itself was built by the British in 1780 and was used during the American Revolution. It was especially important because control of the Straits of Mackinac was vital to the fur trade, which was important in the Great Lakes area during that time.
If you're looking for a fun place to eat, this is the historic tea house, and you can see how amazing those views are.
We spent the better part of an hour just wandering around and going in all of the different buildings to learn more about the history of this unique fort.
There's a fun kids area in here where they can put the old uniforms on and have their muskets, and there's walls you can build. Looks fun.
Eventually it reached 1 o'clock and it was time for the cannon firing demonstration, which is something that we were really excited to see. They walked through the entire process of how you clean and load the cannon, and then they actually fired a blank shot.
That was a cool demonstration, and there's tons of those throughout the day, so definitely look at the schedule. All right, now it is finally time for us to get lunch, and I asked where we should eat lunch at, and most people told us the Pink Pony.
The Pink Pony, where else would you go?
So, we are off to find the Pink Pony.
From the fort, you just have to walk down the decent-sized hill to get back into the downtown area.
There it is, we have found the pink pony.
The Pink Pony is pretty famous on Mackinac Island, and it's been open for over 75 years. Whether you're walking through the store with everything pink you could possibly imagine, or going into the bar area to see the ponies dancing behind the bar, it's definitely an experience. We got a table right next to the window with views of the water and then sat down to look over the extensive menu.
When in Rome or Mackinac Island, I was told you gotta get a rum runner, so I'm gonna try it. All right, here we go. We got the rum runner at the Pink Pony. It's an island favorite, supposedly. Sweet, fruity, rum. It's hot outside, so I can see why people drink this on a hot day. It's not my normal jam, but I'm not complaining about it. Pops really wanted the smoked fish dip, so he whined enough that we got it. Let's see.
I had something like this in Alaska, and it was incredible. So we'll see. Yeah, that's a winner. That's really nice. Great, well spiced, got the fishy flavor. That's really nice.
Pops is going hard right before our bike ride. He's gonna have a rock in his stomach, I think.
I don't know what I was thinking.
That looks like a really good burger,
It's a whole
though.
freaking cow.
And then I got the white fish tacos.
We were both surprised by how much we enjoyed our meal here and just how good the flavors and everything were.
So yeah, all the people who told us to come here, thank you.
After leaving the Pink Pony, it was over to grab our bikes to explore the island.
I'm really hoping that Pops doesn't kill himself on the bike around the island today. Pops, don't hit the horse. It's right there. Don't hit the horse. Only took us about 2 minutes to get out of town, and now we're starting the 8 miles around the island. Once Pops gets his knee brace on.
If you can do it and you're interested at all, I would say the best way to experience the island is definitely on a bike.
This is so much fun. No cars anywhere. Just get to cruise. All right, we've made it to the side of the island and we're officially entering the state park.
The 8.5 mile trail gives you great views of Lake Huron and lots of different places that you can stop at.
Here's my video just before I crash.
So if you want to get to Arch Rock from the bottom, you can park your bike right here and then you gotta walk up all of those stairs.
Do make sure to stop right when you go around this bend, as it is pretty cool to see Arch Rock from below. Without having to worry about cars, there's lots of different areas where you can pull over and look at the water or even see some of the information plaques.
This is pretty epic, right?
This is great. It's so easy.
It's so peaceful and flat with beautiful views. This is the way to bike right here. We've already crossed mile number 2.
I'm not the most confident bicycle rider.
No?
I'm surprised I haven't crashed into the rocks already.
We made it to mile marker 4, which means we're halfway. This is probably one of the most beautiful bike rides I've ever done, and it's flat, so it is pretty hard to beat. I had no idea we were already around the Horn of the Highland until I saw that bridge. This is an incredibly beautiful biking trip. You have to do this if you're interested in this type of thing at all. You guys, don't show the people in charge of Mackinac Island, but someone snuck a truck onto the island. Just past mile number 5, and we've realized that the mosquitoes hang out on this side of the island for some reason. There were none on the other side. Have you ever seen that many mosquitoes in your entire life? That is terrifying.
Once you make it around to the British landing area, there's actually a small nature center that you can go in if you want to see more exhibits about the plant life and wildlife on Mackinac Island.
If you stop here, there's also bathrooms, and there's a place where you can get a drink.
We didn't spend a lot of time there because of the mosquitoes, and we just kept biking on.
Just in case you were wondering, there's no sandy beaches, but there's lots of rocky beaches if you want to sit or even jump in the water.
There was one more point of interest before we got back to the city, and that was the Devil's Kitchen. Not a lot is known about the Devil's Kitchen, but it is supposed to be haunted due to stories that were created supposedly after tourism began in the mid-19th century.
That last part was very challenging going uphill to the Grand, but luckily we have ice cream in our future.
Sadie's Ice Cream Parlor is located at the base of the historic Grand Hotel, and it was the perfect way to celebrate finishing our 8-mile bike ride along the island. We grabbed our ice cream and headed up to the porch, which is iconic at the Grand Hotel. Do note that if you're not a guest, you do have to pay $12 to enter here though. Alright, pro tip, if you're already gonna pay to go into the hotel, then you might as well bring your ice cream, and then you can sit on the world's largest patio. I do have to say the ice cream is pretty good, and the views looking out from the 660-foot patio are pretty hard to beat. There's dozens of different rocking chairs along the entire patio, and you can just find your favorite spot and sit there and look out over the water and over the horses and carriages that keep coming by. Alright, two things. First, I still can't get over that there's horses just going by the front of the hotel. And second, this hotel is just visually overwhelming, and every nook and cranny is more unique than the next. Since you already paid the fee to enter the hotel, you definitely owe it to yourself to explore for a little while before you head on. This hotel is unlike anything I have ever seen. The hotel was built in 1887, and since then it's had many historic visitors, including 5 US presidents, Mark Twain, Thomas Edison, and many others. It's also been a film location for many movies, and it truly is an iconic historic hotel to visit in Michigan. One of the places you must visit while you're there is the Cupola Bar. Located at the very top of the hotel, it has a stunning design and incredible views out over the island. Plus, I've heard the cocktails are pretty good here as well, but I haven't tried them myself. I really wanted to stay here when I went, but unfortunately it was around $750 to $800 a night during the time that we were there. Maybe someday I'll be able to come back and stay in the future. This hotel also has that old school pool where after 6:30 you're not allowed to wear shorts, and you're basically required to dress up when you're walking around. I don't know, I think that'd be pretty fun to do for at least a night. All right, Pops, one more thing. 2 more things. Drop our bike off, get some fudge, and then we're getting on the ferry.
Fudge has to go with the ice cream, all right.
From the Grand Hotel, it's only about a 7-minute bike ride back into the city, but definitely watch out for the horses and the pedestrians.
What an incredibly fun thing to do, biking around the city. All right, our last thing to do is to get fudge, and we're gonna try 2 different places.
If you're familiar with the island and you hear its name, then one of the things you'll always think about is the fudge. They've been making fudge here for over 100 years, and people come to the island sometimes just to get the fudge. Murdoch's was our first stop, which is supposedly the original fudge place on Mackinac Island.
All right, we just got regular chocolate to try there, and we're gonna get regular chocolate to try at Joann's, and that will be our unofficial taste test.
We selected Joann's for our second, as that was the one that most of the locals told us to go to. I liked the vibe here, the people were super friendly, and they even gave me a fresh slice of fudge right after they cut it.
All right, what'd you think of Mackinac, Pops?
Mackinac is really, really fun. I bet in the summer it'd be zooey because there'd be so many people here, but this is a perfect time of year. A lot of fun, a lot of things to do. I'd recommend it, yeah?
I agree. Mackinac Island is awesome.
All that was left was to board the ferry and to head back to St. Ignace. Luckily, there's a ferry every 30 minutes, so basically whenever you're ready to go, there's something waiting for you. And our ferry back had way fewer people than our one there.
Back again with another review of things we know nothing about. We picked these 2 options because that's what most people in the city told us to pick. So which one should we try first, Pops?
Boy, let's do this one here. This is the Murdoch's.
Murdoch's. I said Murdoch's earlier. It's Murdoch's. All right, here we go.
Murdoch. Okay.
Yeah, nice chocolate taste, not overpowering. I think it's pretty good. It's not as intense as I expected it to be.
Yeah. There's a strong chocolate taste in there, but not like punch you in the face.
It's good fudge. This one I can already tell, like Pop said, is a little bit less dense. It's more kind of a squishy consistency. I don't know if that's good or bad for fudge.
The chocolate flavor is not as strong, but it's also not as sweet as this one. So there's a degree to which I like this because I don't like in-your-face chocolate.
I got my pick. I am definitely going with Joann's. Which one are you going with?
Joann's.
All right. There you go. Let us know what your favorite is in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed our day in Mackinac Island, and we'll see you on the next video.
If you were here with us, we'd give the rest of this to you.
I don't know what to do with 2 $14 things of fudge either. We're not going to eat all of that, but yeah, someone will eat it.